Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to SC2 AI assembly. Let's code it. SC2 AI, people, together. I'm Drekken, and we are back with some coding. This is where we code together, you and me, mob programming, putting this bot together. That's SC2 AI. And I know I've actually mentioned a couple of times that we were going to work on our microbot, but I've actually changed up how I wanted you to do assembly. So instead of just working on random projects, I actually wanted to work on my main bot, and I wanted to bring you along that journey. And I figured we'll do some detours, but I figured that you could actually get to see a bit of behind the scenes of the bot, and you can join me if you're in the membership. Code alongside me. We can jump and we'll work on parts together. We can build together and combine our code. Let me do a quick rundown. So with pair programming, if you're familiar with pair programming, how it works is we rotate navigator, driver, somebody on the keyboard doing the coding, someone just overseeing the project, make sure we're going, and then the mob view there's in the background, in the chat, in the comments, whatever that might be, working with us, making sure this code is good and that we got something good to go. So we're gonna actually jump right in. Sometimes I take a lot of preamble, and I wanted to make sure I got some enough time to get some code in. Okay, so here is our bot that we were working on. I'm gonna get some music going. Hopefully I'll get some music going. I just realized I don't hear any music. And so, do we have music going? Maybe I put it too low. Who knows? Let's find out. Oh, I did have it too low. Okay, hold on. Okay. Like That was actually too low. All right, got it. All right. Let's jump right in this. So, oh, I don't have our goals up. So I'm gonna get our goals back up. I don't know why they keep dropping every time I switch things, but there we go. Okay, we got our goals up. So we got 3 main goals to get done today that we want to work on. And if you're in the membership, you can actually apply, do applications. I'm just kind of keeping it that, you know, if you want to get coding up on, you want to do it faster, you want to work together, exclamation mark join. There it is. You're working with us. Okay, so we're actually, first things first, we're gonna fix the extra influence in my influence map, which has been a growing the last part of this function. So let's do it. Let's jump right into that. All right. Just to give you a bit of context, I've been building a Nova manager. And the point of this Nova manager has been to control disruptors. So my hope is by the time we're done today, we can actually put this bot on the ladder to remove pathfind to best target position. What was this? To need to find a way to move. Oh yes, this was, I was thinking of actually using pathfinding, so like the Eris framework, instead of actually using the move command. But now that I think about it, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I actually don't need to worry about the move command. And so select best target. So in here, select best target is actually where we have some problems. Double check to make sure we're not messing around with the, okay, good. This is this commit. Select best target. All right, select best target. Okay. So we actually can replace and reduce the part that looks for okay, so yeah, we probably, that's weird. This should actually be 200. Actually, should be 200. So this is checking if the value is worth targeting. Oh, you know what? Let's run it first. We should actually run it before I jump into it. Make sure everything's working as it should. Always gotta remember, you gotta run the code first and make sure it's working, and then we jump into the. Or maybe it's not going to load, and this was all for nothing. Oh, there we go. Come on, let's load. Feel pretty confident we'll get this done today. Where is okay, we got actually a bit of problems. This is strange. I don't see my debug. That is an odd, this is odd. I wonder if I didn't. Okay, give me half a second. Actually, I'm wondering if I didn't upload my latest commit. One sec. No, I 100% did. Oh, what is going on here? Why did this not download? Okay, you know what? It just, oh, there it is. I was like, why didn't it sync it? That was so weird. I did upload it, just didn't sync. So that's a little unfortunate. Okay, cool though. Let's rerun this. That was not gonna have our changes. So you're gonna want to see the influence map. You're gonna want to see what's going on in the influence map. See if we can do this again. All right, let's load. Okay, there we go. Now we can see. Now we can see the influence. There we go. Okay. This looks better. And so the next project we're going to actually work on for this bot, I think, is I'm going to want to do wall offs. And so figuring out how to wall off with code, I think will be very interesting as a challenge. Is to okay, because you can see right now we're kind of doing whatever right now. Right? This we're kind of building whatever, but it would be really good if we can wall off these areas, right? If we are able to wall off and mathematically figure out how to wall off in each of the maps, I think that would be a really good challenge for our bot. For now, we're just kind of letting the Eris framework handle that, but I think the next step will be to build wall offs, just like in regular StarCraft 2, like human StarCraft 2, to wall off to make sure enemies are funneled correctly. And I think that's going to be the next major addition to this bot. And I've been really thinking about that, how to make the perfect wall off, how to code the perfect wall off, as it would. Okay, so we got our, let's create our disruptors. Okay, we got our disruptor. Make sure it works. Create 5. Nope. Create 3 roach. So it works. It looks like it works. It looks like it works. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, we're looking good here. Oh, we know what we need to. We should actually update Eris. And okay, so code works. This code works. Let's update Ares. Let's get the Ares framework updated. Because I just remembered that they now have it in the influence map or the tactical grid, that it will take into consideration if the enemy has less than 100 points, and it'll give bonus influence. So we want to make sure our disruptors are taking advantage of that. So I think with that, once the Ares is updated, we can actually just jump right. Oh, okay. We'll start. We'll look into first. We'll go to this to do. Yeah. So I actually left myself a note. Oh, what's going on? What is happening? What are these changes that are suggested by... I don't know what are these changes? Did I ask for these changes? I am confused. Okay, let's... These changes... I'm actually going to discard them because I don't know what these changes are. Oh my god. What? Okay. That is a little bothersome. Just keep changes. I don't know where that came from. Anyways. Poetry lock, change significance poetry, run poetry lock. Poetry lock. Oh, I wonder if I should make it so you guys can see my command properly. I think that maybe you'll want to see my terminal commands. Let's see if I can actually make it a little bit easier for you to do that. Maybe. Oh, I see. I used to actually have it a lot smaller, and then I made it bigger. Maybe I could just maybe make this a little bit smaller, and hopefully it's still readable if I do that. Oh, I see what happened. Eep. This is okay, you have to bear with me. I actually want to make it... Oh, found it. Okay. So maybe we can actually make this a bit smaller so you can read my terminal without making it too small. Okay, maybe let's keep it up in the corner. Yeah, let's just keep it in the corner. And then I'm actually going to move my stream notifications to just shortly underneath it. All right. This is what we will do. Got it. Okay. Got it. We'll do that. Okay. And you should be able to see my terminal now. Okay. We're locked in. Poetry locked. Let's go into the to-do. Let's see where we were up to. Okay, there's nothing. The Nova Manager. Nova Manager is fine. Working tree. Combat is fine. We're actually going to come back to combat later. All right, so got to remove that. I decided not to do pathfinding for the actual Nova. I think it's fine to just use the move command and rely on the StarCraft basic algorithm for movement. So to remove targeting, just aiming for the highest influence is enough. So we have to really reevaluate. I might be able to delete. Let's actually, okay, so looking at select best target. I don't want to use what do I want to do? I'm gonna say I've determined just looking for the best influence spot is enough. I don't need to find actually, let's review this part of the code for a sec. So we do the circle, do a bounding circle, we do the exclusion mask. Okay, so there's we apply the exclusion mask if it's available, and we get the position. All right, so we actually don't need any more. Exclusion mask. Take enemies or allies into consideration because the tactical grid already does that. So as long as I'm looking for the highest number of influence, the highest number of influence is enough. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna want to remove, I don't know if, do we want to keep the influence threshold though? You get rid of the influence check threshold, and we don't really need to find the best position, perhaps. Yeah, it looks like we can just get rid of this chunk of code here. Yeah, we'll probably just get rid of that chunk of code, and then should be enough. Let's do it. All right. What did you do, Claude? I simplified the select best target method to focus solely on finding the highest influence position. Tactical grid and exclusion mask, just as you suggested. Here's the two things. Removed all the complex enemy unit clustering. Now directly uses the highest influence value from tactical grid. After, still checks if the enemy would be hit by the Nova at this target, but only for informational purposes. Maintains proper error handling. That's fine. This code is now much cleaner. And let's see what it did, so we make sure it didn't go a little wild. So I changed some of the commenting. Oh, it no longer is taking the radius into consideration. Yeah, I guess that's no longer necessary. I guess we no longer need to take the radius of the disruptor ball into consideration. That's true. Removed my... What did it do here with the mask? Non-excluded mask equals exclusion status. Finite mask. Find indices of non-excluded points. If we have non-excluded points, we only use numpy sum non-excluded points. Finite values. Non-excluded. All points are excluded. No valid targets. Okay, so it has, that's for my targeting to make sure it doesn't if it doesn't have any targets. Find max index. Find the maximum index of the maximum value. Okay. Original max index, maximum points. Okay, I'm fine with that. If unit distance to game world position and Nova manager radius, which I think I chose was 13. If, what is it actually returning for this though? Count how many enemies would be hit. just seems like it's counting. Okay, let's just run it and see how it performs. No, that is the wrong command. Fuck me. Okay, let's run it. Oh, Jesus. Poetry. Install. We got to reinstall it. And because of the patch, we'll have to refix some of the... Oh my God. It's gonna crash if I don't fix the StarCraft folder, because I just rebuilt this. So let's see if I can pull up the StarCraft folder easy peasy and not make life too difficult for me, please. So I gotta pull up the StarCraft folder. Where is it located again in this? Is there a history so I could just go there? Multiplayer screenshot, multiplayer stock. Is there a history? Oh, there is. Thank the Matrix. Okay, that's fantastic. I found the history. I gotta figure out where the... Hold on. There's something I gotta put into this StarCraft folder so my game does not crash. And I, fortunately, or unfortunately, who knows, have it pinned somewhere. So I, oh, found it. Ability IDs. Ability IDs. Ability IDs, which are located. Look, virtual environments. Which virtual environment is this? So, poetry, environment, info. Startup bot. I hope that's not gonna get me in trouble, like exposing that thing, but can't, like, what could you possibly do with it? Then into libraries, site packages, StarCraft 2, found it, and then I gotta edit ability ID or not, never mind. Packages, SC2. It's IDs, and then ability IDs, found it IDs, ability IDs. All right, and that's gotta edit that with Notepad. And then after that, I should be able to run the game without any trouble. Hopefully. Or it'll crash. Okay. That should be good. Let's run it. Let's do it. Hopefully it doesn't crash while we run. Is it not going to run? Did I just break it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it's loading. Okay. I thought I broke it. And we're just gonna check to make sure it still shoots and still looks for the optimum position. What we removed shouldn't be too crazy. Yeah, and it's still looking for the threshold of 200. So this is right, max values greater than the influence threshold. Okay. And then we'll create one disruptor. Or rather, we'll wait. We'll first wait to see. And if this works, then we will count the first objective of today complete, and then we'll go on to the other smaller stuff. Okay. And so some of the objectives we have today is to make sure the influence is not we're just focused on getting the highest amount of influence. And what was the other objectives we had today? So auto depower. So I get an auto depower when my pylon is destroyed and they don't restore. I don't know how we'll debug for that. That's kind of difficult. Okay, we can build our disruptor now. Okay, so we got our disruptor. Create 3 roaches. Roach. So, okay, we created the, okay, roaches still died. Let's try this again. Create 2 roach. I don't like how it was delayed though. It didn't really create 3 roach. 2. It was a little slow to move. I'm not super happy how that worked. Create 3 roach. 2. I just realized, like, I'm wondering, am I looking at this wrong, or is the actual greatest point? Because I think it's finding the greatest point, and that greatest point is like create. Maybe I don't want to get rid of this because I realize that maybe, hold on, create 3 roach 2. Maybe I should shoot. What should I do? What should I do? This is difficult because create 4 roaches. I mean, it's technically working, but I feel like it's not shooting at the maximum. Like, it's not shooting for the maximum. Create 3 roach. Like Rasper says, I should actually make sure that I'm just create 10. Let's create 10 roaches and see what happens. Oh, why? Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Maybe we're okay to leave this. Slowing down my game significantly. Let's create another disruptor. Let's try with 2 disruptors. Let's actually put them here. There's a lot more space. We can kind of see what's going on. Let's create 10 roaches here. So yeah, okay. So Oh my god, army, what is happening, boys? Okay, so he sends a disruptor. Disruptor goes to the middle, it hits. Another disruptor hits. Okay, it's looking good. I'm actually liking this. This is looking pretty good. Okay. I am satisfied. I am satisfied with that. I am satisfied. Just let's do one more for fun. Create 10 roach. So let's see what the disruptors are doing. So he's firing and he fires it into the middle, Okay. So it's working. It just, I guess it depends on the sizing, because it'll fire it into the middle, because as long as, if my own units engage with the enemy, it'll reduce the influence, and so the influence in the back where my own units aren't will be stronger, and it'll pull the Nova to the back. So that's okay. Let's go with this. We'll keep these changes. It works. All right, so I'm gonna say that's done. I'm pretty satisfied with how that works. Then let's call that finished. So we got rid of the extra influence added. So I'm actually gonna move my randomly not attack enemies. I noticed that happened again, and I need to look at that. And the depowering, I don't know, depowering is not as high as priority as my not. So let's see, updated errors. We're gonna just toss that in there. Commit the upgrade. Commit. And then we're gonna be like, okay, what did we do? So we removed targeting other than influence. And we could probably, at some point, before it goes on to the ladder, remove all the debugs. Anyways, so that's done. It's looking good. Now, we could probably also get rid of some of these extra imports. We don't need this import. We're not importing from here. What else are we not importing? We're not importing this. We're not importing this anymore. We're actually not pathing unit to target anymore. Okay, that's cleaning up the imports. And so this is finished. This is good. Okay, pretty satisfied with that. It's looking good. It's looking good. All right, let's work on combat, because we are not recognizing enemies for some reason. We can actually close this conversation with, we can actually put up a new one. So we need to go over, if we want to go over, it's going to be in our reactions. So let's open up reactions. Where are we with reactions? So reactions. So let's go over reactions. And so cheese reactions, one base reactions, early descent. Okay, so these are the actual reactions, but where's our sensors? Is that in bot.py? We actually want to, so it's not in there. Is it combat? No, combat is combat. Where is it that we actually, where's it? It's, can you, threat detection? Ah, here it is, assess threat. Here it is. So we actually have, okay, we can change this, because right now we have manual weights, but we can actually change this. We don't have to do manual weights. We can do something else. So we actually did this manual weighting, but we don't have to do this anymore. Where was it located again? I forget. Is it unit data? Where is it? Because Ares now has it that each unit can, like, there's a formula that each unit produces and it gives its own weight. Where is this formula? I'm just going through my notes to figure out where is this is it the tactical grid does not use it. I should have pinned it. Oh goodness gracious. Actually, we don't need the we can actually turn off the tactical grid of the debug because we're no longer working on tactical grid. So let's turn off that for now. Where is it? Config. We'll turn off the config. Let's turn off the config file. Do we just go false? Maybe go false. Shoot. Let's go false. And just turn off pathing cost. And that should hopefully turn that back off so we can view something else. Army data, that's what it's called. Unit data in armament value. How do I find that again? So I need to find a unit data army value. Unit data. So I have to find unit data, which is in the Ares dictionaries. Do I not already do that somewhere? I can just take that code. Where do I do that? Or did I used to do that? I used to do that in an old piece of code where I used to take the unit data and then I would use that to help determine the value. So what we'll do, I found it. So we're gonna go, let's go to, where is it? Combat? In combat. So let's go back up here. We don't need this config. I will go up. Oh, we have it here. We already have unit data. So we're already importing unit data. Ares unit data. So it's doing a threat weight. Where is it using this? So for unit and then get threat weight. So we can actually get the threat weight differently. We could go like, we can actually get threat weight differently. We could go, let me figure out how to use this thing from Ares framework. So I can probably do, oh, I actually put here, oh, here goes, swap this with unit data from Ares and change the weight calculation, but filter. So I knew I was gonna do this again. So I just need to change this threat weight. I just don't remember. How do I do it in Ares too? So I could go like, oh, I can go unit data. Okay, so I get something like, is it like this? Do I go equals unit data? How was I doing that before? Unit type ID. So if I go unit data, a unit type ID, and then I go, whoops, and then go like, is it army value? So the weight equals a unit data, unit type, army value. Okay. For unit and enemy units, weight equals unit data, unit type dot, so type ID, sort of the ID, and then the unit value. What does this look like? How do I get to this thing? I'm trying to, if there, I actually would like to show you guys the, see if we can get it, if I can put this up. You might want to see what, how the unit ID data works. Okay, let's see if I can share this part of my screen with the stream. Screen sharer. Browser, here it is. All right. Oh crap. So it's like, okay. Okay, so in it, it has, and it has the different values. So we've got army value. And the army value equals minerals divided by 0.09. I don't know what that 0.09 means, plus gas. So gas costs times the supply divided by 50. And I don't know why that would be. Like, I don't know where these numbers for this calculation comes from. Oh, I didn't even share it with you. My bad. There you go. Now you, oh, there you go. Now you see it. Okay, so yeah, the formula for this: minerals divided by 0.09 plus gas times supply divided by 50, and then you get an army value. Each one will kind of weight the units accordingly. So like, for example, Hellions will have an army value of 4.4, and we're going to use that to determine if we have a threat. Now I might want to rethink this threat detection. Maybe I want to rethink it, and yeah, let's do that. We changed it. So weight equals army value. How's this used? So this is plus or minus the weight, threat level, minus, and then times the unit health and shields, divided by 50. Maybe we don't, oh, that's how I create a threat level. Maybe I don't need this anymore because there's already a, maybe we'll change this weight to call, maybe we'll just kind of do this thing where we don't really need a weight. And we'll just go, the threat level is actually, we'll call, change this to from weight to threat. No, just say army value. Maybe we'll just call it army value. The cluster, if own forces greater than own forces threat level. How did I do this before? So I can get an idea of how this weight was used. Because the threat level is I just got this individual weight number. No, this was right. So you want to take the weight. So if we weight it, so the threat level equals break. Yeah. That's how my assess threat works. I forgot why I have this formula to take the is that that might be the current health and weight shield of the enemy at that time. Yeah, that actually makes sense, because I was like, well, what is the current health of the enemy and the shield at that time? So I actually maybe do need to keep that into consideration. So I just need to have the weight, and that should be fine. So weight times the unit's health and its shields divided by 50. I don't remember why 50. Was that this? Oh, was to try to treat the scale? Multiply the weight by the effective power. Health and shield scaled by 50. Tweak if needed. Assess function. The assess function in your combat module evaluates the threat level posed by enemies. Here's how it works. Yes, I know that part. Core components, threat weight. The function first defines the threat weight for different types of unit. It doesn't actually use this dictionary. Instead, it uses the ARS unit data. I already knew that because I did that. For each enemy unit contributes to the threat level based on its army value from ARS data, its current health, density. Function then evaluates if the enemies are clustered together, which would make them more dangerous. That's correct. Okay. This reduces, I could probably make this function different, but whatever. I can, this reduces the threat level by fewer. Actually, probably could use a Scython to make that more cleaner, because I could probably use Scython get enemy, center of the enemies. Okay, that's not what we're doing right now. It reduces the threat level by half. Where's that section though? I'll put a note. Detect density checks its threats. Okay, so I probably put like a little note here, because then I could just go something like Scython extension. Oh, actually, I don't need to have this up anymore. Okay, so we could probably even have a Scython section that's like, get a bounding box. Maybe we can get this closer to, maybe something that checks the center. Units pending, geometry, angle. Maybe the Scython geometry could be useful. Towards point along line, flood fill grid, get bounding box, snumpy helper, map analysis. What does this do? Yeah, I don't know what that does. Oh, that's just I see, never mind. That's just a placeholder. So size center, give 1 point. Okay, give some units, find the center point. So I'm gonna actually add in here, maybe to do, whoops, to do, use size center to and then I could probably use Can make this. Oh, I could probably use the Scython closest to, or is there a distance to as well? Oh, there is. So maybe we can actually use the Scython distance too. We can actually use that right now because that's super easy. Let's go Scython extensions. Oh, we already have it closest to. We can actually use a Scython distance too. Oh, you're on my mind, girl. You're in my head. And then we can actually swap out distance too. Is that how Scython closest to works? No, that's not how it works. How does the distance to works? Can we just go like Scy distance to? Does that not work? Is that how it works? I found distance to unit position to center. And then how could we could probably use a center. How do we want to find center? We could actually maybe find center differently, but using so we can actually use size center probably instead of this. So center equals 0.2 center X and Y. You'd probably replace. So we'd probably say center equals. So center. How does size center work? Size center, it's a centroid tuple float equals size center self workers. So what does it accept? Oh, it accepts units. So you could actually feed it all the units inside of it. So if enemy units equals amount 0, greater than 0, we can go for each enemy unit. We could actually go. How does it take it though? Looks like, can I go like something like center equals never used it like this, but let's see if I went size center. Did I not import size center? Oh, I did not. Okay, now I imported size center. So then what if I said something like, okay, center equals size center enemy units, and then just remove that? Okay, all right. Whoa, that was legit. So center equals size center enemy units. That should be a little cleaner. All right, and then there's like a cluster to see. All right, that looks a little bit. That worked. Dyson, are you a Psyduck? Aye. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I actually don't need these anymore, so I can probably ditch this. So I got a little sidetracked cleaning that up because that's not what we're here to do, but it's a little bit cleaner. Let's run it and make sure it works. So the problem we're running is, for some reason, the threat detection. So let's talk about threat detection for a second. So right now the threat detection does not get triggered if it needs to get triggered. It's supposed to get triggered if there is like units near our base. So if there are enemies near our main base and we need to have a proper response, but that's other half. So what will happen sometimes, not all the times, is the units will not trigger the threat assessment. And it's so random too. I don't know why. And that's, I guess, what we'll have to figure out. And before my bot goes up on the grid, goes up on the onto the ladder, we'll have to turn off some of these debugs, because, you know, bot can't be running around with debugs and stuff. So let's say create you know what we'll do? Well, first we'll do a regular test. We'll just make sure that once this stalker pops out, we'll test it. Let's just test it with 2 roaches. Let's say 2 roaches. Say 2 roaches are coming out. Okay, and so it reacts. It's like, okay, 2 roaches. This is problematic. Da da da. Okay, so good news is that worked. Now that could be because they were already in the base. Let's try to put them really in a weird spot. Let's put them here. Create 2 roach. Oh shit, that's not right. Kill 2 roach. Let's say there's like a drop. Let's say there's like a create 2 roach 2, and they're attacking. Will that call the army? No. Maybe it's because it's like, oh, this is too much. Yeah, okay, so you know what it is? It's I have a suppressant. I remember now. I have a suppressant that is like, if my army is so much stronger than the enemy, is that what causes it? Let's put like create 2 roach 2, and they're attacking, and they're like, oh, and so my army's like, whatever, this is only 2 roaches. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, that's what it is. It's like, it's the look at that. It's causing so much problems. Look at that. Okay, so we kind of need to think through this, because what happens is I have this thing where, like, if my own forces are just so much stronger than it, if it's like so much stronger, it doesn't yeah, Dyson, but it's like I have this, it's this part of the code, because it's like, if my units are so much stronger than it, then it won't even like give a shit about the enemy. And so we don't want our we don't want our entire army to run back because of like we're taking damage. But at the same time, we don't want like 2 units to cause a havoc or whatnot. Like, it's tough, because like we don't want 2 units to cause the entire army to turn around. But at the same time, we don't want like because we could solve this by creating like a smaller group of enemy, or smaller group, and like have a reduced response. So we're like, okay, 2 roaches are attacking our base. All right, go do something else. So I guess maybe we should just take this part off for our own forces. or significant reduce the threat level. Let's pause this part for a sec. Let's see what happens. Because obviously you don't want your entire army to run back because like 2 roaches are attacking your base. And so you kind of want your army to ignore. You want your army to ignore an enemy. No? Like, I would. We could also then say something like, okay, well, if our army is in our main base, then this is irrelevant. Or we could say it's like, if our army is not in our main base, then we should only care about if we need to suppress the threat level. Or maybe we just get rid of the suppressing altogether. Maybe it's just an artificial metric that's not necessary to kind of keep our army at base. Maybe we can ditch the suppressant. And just, because now that we have actual values, like threat values, weight values, the suppressant might not be necessary. Just, it might be giving distortions to, so this reduces the threat level by half if fewer than 3 enemy units are clustered together, recognizing that the scattered units are generally less threatening, forces comparison adjustment. Outnumber the enemy at least 2 to 1, the threat level is reduced by 2. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yeah, let's. Oh, do we want to have that the 2 to 1 actually, like, if we overwhelmingly you know what, it might be creating distortions. So we'll maybe just ignore it for now. And then let's create 2 roaches and see what happens. Okay, we're responding. So look at this. So we have you know, pretty much an army. Maybe we should do is like, if they're attacking our main base, like if our army is in our main base and they're attacking our main base, we need to respond. Maybe that's the better approach, right? So let's say here we are in our main base, right? We're in our main base and the enemy drops 2 roaches. They drop 2 roaches in our base, create 2 roach, 2, and they start attacking this crystal. The army, it does respond. Okay. So that's good. Okay. So if we actually get rid of the suppressant, it might be fine. So like, oh, so-and-so is attacking me. He drops something and it's like, create 2 roaches. Oh my God, he's attacking a crystal. Oh, and then they respond. And then he's like, oh no, he's at my main base. Create 2 roaches. He's like, oh my God, he's attacking this stuff. And then our army's like, come here, bitch. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's safe to say we can get rid of this suppressant. I think this ends up being, we'll leave it. We'll say not used. We'll leave it in there. Cause distortions. Just in case I want to come back to it. It might be useful in a different use case. Okay. So far so good. These guys are doing their thing. Where's the disruptors? Oi boys, where's the disruptors? I guess I'm a little surprised that I'm not seeing disruptors in this build. This build is supposed to have disruptors. I'm not seeing disruptors. I'm seeing every unit but disruptors, actually. Okay, anyways, we'll wait until this army goes out. I'm seeing Archons, but I'm not seeing Disruptors. But this build definitely has Disruptors, so boop, boop, boop. Are we not gonna build Disruptors? Why is our gas so low? What's happening on here? Oh, you know what we need to eventually code? We need to create a system for it to know when to expand. So I think I'm expanding manually. Like, I think right now we really are expanding manually. And I really would like to create a way of like, okay, how do you know when to expand? What is the quintessential way of knowing to expand? Past, obviously, once you obviously as a StarCraft player, you expand in the beginning, you build order, whatever, but then what is a natural instinct for a player to expand? Is it based off of minerals mined? Like, do you say like once your minerals mined equals XYZ, now we should expand? Or is our oh, what's happening here? Okay, what is going on? Why are we should have like attacked by now. It's so weird that this bot has not gone and attack. I'm actually not sure what this bot is waiting on. So this actually is an interesting question. What is it waiting on? And oh, now it's going to attack. Now it's interested. Now it's like, okay, I wonder what caught. Interesting. Where's the observers? Oi. Is that an observer now? Okay, there it is. Okay, so my question is, why have we not attacked? Interesting. We have not attacked, and there does not seem to be a good reason. Okay, so we actually need to investigate when is the appropriate time to attack, and why won't you attack? Oi. Is he just finished? That's a good point. You could just say when your base is saturated, but strategically, no, I think, see, you don't want, I don't know if you want to expand just when your base is saturated, because you also strategically should, like, or should you? Is it just saturation is enough? When your base is saturated, you expand, but then you need to give it time mathematically for that base to like make back its own money so that you can expand again. So like maybe I would say, you know, when each base has paid for itself, quote unquote, paid for the expansion of that base, then you should expand again. You could mathematically say something like, the AI can tell how much it's mined. So you say when each base is mined enough to pay for itself and for another base, then expand, right? We could say something like that. That is not, I don't think that's unusual. But like, I mean, economically, each base pays for the next base, and then you expand. That way it's not interrupting or intervening with your build order. Why is this bot not expanded? I mean, not gone and killed this enemy. What are we doing here, boys? Okay, so that requires investigation. That, yeah, I guess I need to really think on that question. Like, when is the best time to because the base will pay for itself pretty quick. This is a good question. Like, when is the best time to expand? I mean, like, if it pays for itself pretty quickly, that's good too. If it pays for itself quickly, then you should then also keep expanding, right? That should be the case. So let's find out, first of all, why we didn't attack, because that is of insignificance. Where is the Okay. We got a couple things to sort out. First of all, where are my disruptors? In other cases, scouting is the most important. Information is always paramount in StarCraft 2. Macro and information, I would say, are the two important things. Is like a good economy and the ability to know what your opponent is doing, or at least being able to get enough information to know what your opponent is doing, I would say are paramount. But I think that's pretty much covered by my observer. I don't think the bot lacks from, in general, information. So let's go back to this build. Where is this? So I have a couple of, so we got some builds here. Where are the disruptors in this build? Disruptors. So 2 disruptors. This isn't a PVZ. So PVZ disruptors. So they did disruptors, but I think it interrupted my build. So there was no disruptors here. So we can, so our problem. So let's say, okay. So a regular build, if our bases, if our guys are allowed to do what they need to do, we get disruptors here at 59. Is that the only place we get disruptors? Sure. Disruptors, and okay. So what we need to tamper with then is, let's go to the Eris, back into Eris. Also, I'm content with saying the, like, I'm gonna actually commit the I'm gonna commit tweaking the ret detection to not suppress if army is 2 times enemy army. I think I'm comfortable we can do that. And then so I want to say we fixed randomly not responding to enemy attacks, so I'm going to say we did that. What's this? Oh, so let's say that's done. Cleaned up imports, tweaked, config, and we'll just commit this. Okay. All right, so that brings us back to that problem. We need to know, we found a new problem. We have our last problem for the day is actually when our devices depower, it does not start up new device. It doesn't, we do not bring up new pylons. And that should not be actually too hard to fix, because the Eris framework has somewhere in here, I don't know where, the ability to turn on depowering, to change that if your buildings are depowered. So it should be the matter of, what's this? Have to switch a standard army if we're in the mid game after doing cheese. I actually do not know what this was about. So I'm going to assume I was talking to a future version of me. If we detected cheese, to switch to a standard army if we're mid game after detecting cheese. Oh, this standard army. Oh, we have a cheese army and we have a standard army. And this standard army is missing disruptors, so we can fix disruptors now. So let's say unit type ID disruptors. I mean, we don't need that much. How does this priority thing work again? Goodness gracious. So I'm trying to remember how this should go. It needs to equal up to 100 if I remember correctly, or up to 1. So if you're like, oh, okay. What is this? So actually you're gonna want one, and then you're gonna like want to reduce one here. It's like 14. Why is this suggesting delete? I already have disruptors in here. Oh, that's why it's suggesting to delete disruptors. So I already have disruptors. Then why didn't I build any disruptors? I don't understand. Why did we switched to a standard army, and we didn't get, I didn't see any disruptors from that. Okay, let's pull up the Eris framework and see if I can understand how this composition stuff works. So what is this in? Is this proportions? Nope. Proportion. Nope. This is army manager. Oh, I'm in the Scython thing. That's not right. Eris framework. So I'll put up let me put up the stuff so you can see what I'm reading, so we can maybe read this together. Let's turn back on the browser. Eris SC2, so you can see what I'm looking up. Let's so what if we're like, okay, portions. Is this the army manager? Okay. So both controllers rely on army composition dictionary, for example, blah, blah, blah. Proportions should add up to 1. That's pretty simple. We got that, I think. Each declared unit should be given a priority where 0 is the highest priority. This allows resources to be saved for more important units. So I would say disruptors are pretty important. I would say zealots are not that important. I would say Colossuses are immortals are important. Colossuses are important. The Warp Prism is like, I actually don't think we even need a Warp Prism in our army. I just need to make sure that if we have a Warp Prism, yeah, we probably can remove the Warp Prism from the composition. We probably don't need like multiple Warp Prisms, and we'll just have Warp Prisms and other transport controlled by a different concept. Like, oh, if there's no Warp Prism, build me another one or something like that. Okay, so Disruptor, High Templars, Colossus, Immortals, Zealots. That's what we got. Zealots are the lowest priority. We can increase Colossus to 2. How does this work? When spawn control will not produce building structures for you, please be especially careful of this fact when morphing units. The proportion values add up to 1. Each declared unit should be given a priority where 0 is the highest. This allows resources to be saved for important. Let's create a simple bot. Okay. Oh, can you only use it for can each unit only hold up 1 priority? Oh, so maybe you cannot have multiple units in the same priority slot. So then let's say, what's the most important unit that we need? Most important unit is High Templars. I would say High Templars are the most important because Archons can hit both air and ground. And then I would say Immortals are second most important. Then I would say Disruptors are next important. I would then go and say Colossi are next important, and then Zealots are last. And then we'll say something like, okay, proportionally, like how would you say this army should be done proportionally? Well, technically, you know what I didn't like? I remember now. I don't like is that I'm gonna say High Templar, but it doesn't take into consideration that they get morphed to Archons, and it's just gonna keep making High Templars because. Okay. Anyways, this is kind of moot. Anyways, so it's like, okay, Colossus, Immortal, High Templars, Disruptors, Zealots. That's correct. All right. We will maybe need to. So we need to figure out why our. So there's our cheese response. We need to make an optimum way of knowing when it's best time to expand. See, I asked myself. I have this thing. I have this thing right here asking myself, how do I know when's the best time to expand? Interesting. I had this problem before. So to do, have to switch to a standard army if we're in the mid game and after doing a cheese defense. So else bot cheese reaction completed. Build workers. Register expansion controller, macro plan. So this is what is this? Else cheese reaction complete. So we've done the cheese reaction, and then we cheese to a cheese army. I remember now. So we need to switch at a certain point. After a certain point of creating a cheese defense, we need to switch to a new type of army. How do we do this again? So it's like, okay, if cheese is completed, we if not under attack, gas building controller, okay, that's right, that makes sense. Then we do a defense plan, and we start building, and then we need to switch to a main army. We need to just switch to a standard army. How do you know that you're you're out of, like, what's the standard mid game? We should maybe say, like, we could probably create a really simple one. Like, if we're in the mid game, then switch to standard army. Yeah, let's just say that. At what time frame is the mid game in StarCraft 2? What is considered the mid game? We'll just use a game time for now and just keep it simple. We can probably come up with a more advanced version later. What is the mid game of StarCraft 2? I'm gonna do a quick search. What is considered the mid game for StarCraft 2? Mid game starts at 7 minutes. So we could probably say, okay, if not under attack, so if bot's not under attack, and you're so fucking smart, you knew what I was gonna ask you for. So if it's, well, you almost did, but if it's less than 7 minutes, and we're like, okay, if it's less than 7, and it's less than 7 minutes, else how do you switch in Ares again? How do we switch? This is what we need to do. We need to switch. How do you change controllers? Can you just change, you say new controller? Or just do, or do you have to tell it to switch plans? But I guess you don't have to. You just, I guess. So I guess I'll just keep the same plan. And I'll just kind of change it to kind of do that, and then we'll kind of change it. What just happened there? So we're like, okay, if we're not under, and then we're like, change to standard army. And then is that just, you just go like macro plan add? And then like that? Is that register defense plan? What was this doing again? How does this work again? So macro plan. So what if, how do we, let's, so then we just change the spawn controller that way. Should probably keep these controllers here, in here as well. So we can keep control of our expansions. Where are these plans coming from again? Cheese defense plan. Oh, you have to define it. So then we can go something like macro plan equals da da da, macro plan da da da, and then it's like bot.register expansion controllers 3 bot register. Well, we probably should actually, since it's mid game, increase your expansions to 7, 6, I guess. Like you could control expansions based on where we are in the game. I don't think that's a reliable scenario, but whatever. We need to think about that at another time. That is not today. That is not a today plan. Today is not talking about what that is. Okay. So what did we do? Bot register behavior, build workers, lends to the amount of town hall. That's correct. That's fine. Okay, everything seems pretty good here. We don't need to we can get rid of that to do. That was not part of today's plan. What we're still missing for today to make sure we can end today on a good note is depowering. So we still depower. And it's this, we're missing something. We're missing something from the, okay, let's bring back up our, let's bring back the Eras Frameworks docs, and then let's see if we can figure out what's wrong. So it's like depower, pylon, depower, power. So you want to find out how to make sure the pylons don't depower. What is it? Power grid? Maybe is it power grid? Is it power grid? We need a power grid. Is it considered a power grid? It's called. None of this. Let's go here. Power grid. Nope, that's not what we need either. What about power? Power. It's called Psionic Matrix. Let's go to the macro manager. If we go to the macro manager, perhaps it is in there and we just need to find out about power. So then we're going to simulate power. Nope. Pylon. Nope. D-power. No. Maybe we need to go into... Okay, why don't we take a quick peek? Because I think in the standard build order, so let's say this Protoss build order here, auto supply, constant worker production till 44. No, that doesn't check for power. Maybe let's go back to macro plan. Maybe the macro plan has a hint. Wait, why is this wrong? What's happening here? So macro plan is no good here. Maybe it needs to be renamed. Maybe we should actually call this are the macro plans macro plan where are the macro plans defined? Where did I define them again? So in here, so else, maybe I'm making him, so let's say cheese, what are we gonna say? Cheese after, cheese macro. Let's say cheese macro. Where do you define these again? Oh my god. Jeez. Defense. Are they just not defined at the beginning? Yeah, okay. So cheese macro plan. Okay, good. That's good. There. Okay, good. Cheese macro plan. Auto supply. I don't need to auto supply, do I? Oh, I do need to auto supply. Don't I? I do need to cheese macro plan auto supply. Okay. So we have an auto supply, we have the actual macro plan, auto supply, expansion controller. Okay. Okay. And then it changes to standard army controller. Can you just switch? I feel like okay. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Spawn controller. Free flow. Maybe it's in the auto supply. Base location and then return true if supply required, which is standard. Expansion controllers. Checks if we can afford. That's obviously pending. To count. That's correct. Okay, let's go back to the. We're going to be actually ending shortly, in about 10 minutes, but let's go macro plan. Macro plan. And then we're like, okay, power. Should repower structures. There it is. Search for an unpowered structure and build it. What does this belong to? Production controller. So this belongs to a production. It says default to true. Oh, do I not have a production controller? So we do need a production controller. So we're like, production controller. And then just in case, even though it says should repower structures. No, what the fuck? Should repower structures was true. So should repower structures equals true. Let's make sure this is on all our macro plans. Production controller. True. Make sure you have this too. And then, okay. So that should hopefully fix any unpowered structures. All right. And then I'll call that done. Okay. So we did all our major things done for today. All right, that's done. But we can't put our bot on the ladder because we have something still deathly wrong, because it didn't attack when it was supposed to attack. And let's explore. Is this no longer useful? What's this? Doesn't look like we're using this anymore. That can go. What controls when my bot decides to attack the enemy? I can't remember. It's been so long since I looked at that part of the code. So let's see if it will tell us. Commenced attack. Okay. What did you find out? Okay, so now that I've examined your where's commenced attack? Handle attack toggles. Oh, is this not new? Primary flag that indicates your army is in attack mode. A supply threshold that must be reached before begin. A flag indicates when your bot is being attacked. Assesses the threat level of enemy units if already under attack. Commence attack is true. When attack selection. When attacking, your bot uses attack target. Yep, I already know that. Defense logic. Attack supply threshold. Your bot likely initiates begin attacks at supply. Where is that? Begin attack at supply. Where is this coming from though? This is coming from bot.py. Yes. Okay. So I'm ready to put my bot onto the ladder once this is solved. Well, I don't see. So, begin attack at supply. Here it is. Interesting. So begin attack at supply begins then. How do we hold on? So he chose the supply at 2.5. 2.5 what? Attack supply 2.5. And then what did I base that off of? Oh, if current supply is less than begin attack supply, so that's correct. Don't commence the attack. Else, not, and we're not under attack. Control main army, attack, da da da. Weird. So if, okay, so measure the value of my army versus the value of the enemy army attack instead of supply. Oh, I left myself little notes. Use get cached enemy army, own forces, and enemy forces. Interesting. So I actually had decided at some point that I wanted to somehow measure the value of the enemy army, measure the value of the enemy army, measure the value of my own army, and if my army value is more than the enemy army value, then I should then attack. Okay, that makes sense. I am actually pretty on board with that. And that's not that hard to calculate. I think we should be able to say, let's say. So right now we're like, okay, enemy threat level. That's the enemy threat level. That's assessed threat. That's not necessary. Da, da, da. So we can use, but the thing is, when should we assess? We should say, actually, if our supply is over, maybe supply is not a, how do we want to do it? What's the man? These are some like philosophical questions. Like when is the best time to attack in StarCraft 2? Is it when your army is 2 times the enemy army? Okay, let's look at errors for a second. Let's do a little bit of errors assessment. And I put my notes here said to measure the value of my army versus the value of the enemy army to attack instead of attack supply. So, and I said use get cached. So get cached enemy army. Let's see what that does first. So get cached enemy army. What does that do? It gets the unit object for the enemy army. Gets the object of the new enemy worker. And then I said, what did I say in this too? Own forces and enemy forces. Is that a variable I have here? Own forces? I do. So I have own forces, which is what do I have? So that's easy because I have vision of all my forces. But what if you don't have vision of all your forces? I mean, of the enemy forces. What do you do then? This can be philosophically interesting. So I'm like, measure the value of my army versus the value of the enemy to attack a supply. So maybe what I could do is take my own army. Yeah, okay, so I can use the unit data find out what the value of my army is, so I can go over my entire army. When do we want to be checking for the enemy army? I guess is what we should be asking ourselves. Handle attack targets. So handle attack toggles. So here we have is the handle attack toggles. Weird, we're not actually passing in the enemy army inside the... How is it even looking for the enemy army here? Because here the handle attack target toggles. I presume this is the only... Yeah. So we call... So if we have an army, we're constantly calling attack toggles. Self, main... and we are not actually calling the enemy army into it. So how do we know what the supply is? Is that why it wasn't working? Because we're not calling anything? Yeah, this is not working because I don't think we are are we not can we put a little remove bookmark? Attack toggles. So the bot can't go on the ladder until this gets fixed. Should we be importing? Should we be in, because this is not even like... Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay. So we're like, okay, get bot total supply. Is that an Ares thing? What is this? Get bot total supply. Is this a real thing? Get total. What's that even? Is that not a thing? Get total supply. So now I know why my bot's not attacking. Was this like this thing here is like super bogus? Is this? Do I have this here? Is this a thing? There's no get dot. Okay, it's not that either. That's not a thing. Okay. So we have already decided we don't want to get supply. So let's say get something like army value, army strength. So we can something say like army strength equals what would you want to do? How would we could do this? How could we army strength equals and we like loop over? What's the best way to get army strength? Something like maybe make a regroup army, fallback target, attack target. So maybe we can make something that says like so we can maybe go something like army strength equals bot dot bot dot or we just say something like sorry, just go army strength equals army strength main army, our own forces, I guess. Main army. Okay, so we're gonna that army strength. army strength equals that, and then we go something like, and say something like army strength, and so we can something go like 4 main unit in unit. No, don't return. Main army power. Main army power. And then we go, so for main army in thing, and then we'll go for unit in main army, something like, oh, in main army power. And then we'll say something like, how do I want to do this? Something like, how did I do the ID again? Unit data? How's it go again? Unit data. Oh, data. So you army value. So you could do something like that. Let's just take this here to down to the bottom. Do something like we'll say like weight equals army data, or power equals unit data, and then we'll say something like see that threat level, but we'll say something like total strength, return total strength. So total strength plus power. Yeah. Multiply by. All right. Okay. And then return the total strength. So the army strength is like that. And we should probably do something for the. We don't need to send a bot through. That's fine. And so then we get our total. Then we get a total strength. Like it returns total strength. So then we can say something like, what is this? Army strength equals and then we can do something, the same thing for enemy strength. Enemy strength equals something similar, and you can be like, okay, enemy strength is that why it didn't work? Did we not go bot dot? No. I will look why that's not working. Do we pass the enemy units in here? So it's like bot the enemy units. So enemy strength, and we'll figure out that. And we're like, okay. And then we can say something like define enemy strength. Returns the total strength of the enemy army. So for that, that's maybe not the right way, because you are going, like, enemies come and they go. So I guess the question is, what enemy army did we just pass in? Enemy units passed in. Now they're passed in. They weren't before. Are we even using this? Yeah, we are. Ah, I see. We were just going bot dot enemy units. We could actually still. So we actually do not. So maybe you actually don't have to go. We can be like something like. Get cached. How did I write this? Get cached enemy army. Gets the unit object for the enemy army. But you might want to go is visible. How do we keep enemy army memory? Get all enemies, get all enemy units, unit memory manager. Maybe that's what we're gonna want to do. So might need to go and we'll need to, what is this? This is in the unit cache manager. So let's try bringing in a new one here into the Eris. So this is going to be from Eris dot manage mediator, and then it's like import unit memory manager. Nope, that is not a thing. Oh, it's a unit memory manager. Maybe it's not that. Managers dot no errors dot oh, that might have worked. Unit memory manager. Manage that unit memory manager, and then or maybe that's not how I need to do this. Maybe it's like that, but then import get all enemy. How is this used? Or maybe you just call the memory manager. Okay, maybe you just do the manager mediator, and then we just use that way. So then we go down to attack toggles, and we're like, okay, get enemy threat. So in this, we could actually go something like for enemy in something like in for enemy units in, so for unit in get all enemy? How does this work again? Oh my god, error is killing me. We actually have to come close to an end to this now, but how does the manager mediator work again? Manage get self.mediator. So we can go bot.mediator. So let's go let's do this. Let's go bot.mediator dot get all enemy. How does this work? I don't know if it works this way, but so bot.mediator get all enemy. Bot dot. Did we not import? Oh, you need to pass. I have to pass bot in. So enemy strength. So I do have to pass bot in. So it's like toggle. I am passing bot in. Can I just pass the bot in like this? Yeah, okay. So enemy strength equals that. And I pass bot in through there. And I receive bot.mediator get all enemies. 4 unit power, army value, same thing, total strength. Now this is a little janky, but and these aren't working, so I have to figure out why that is for a second. I must have missed something. But those methods should work. So I'm actually not going to use this current supply anymore. So we'll say like if we'll actually say if so we'll say like if enemy strength is greater than no if army strength is less than enemy strength, don't attack. Else if you probably just say else. That's it. Yeah, we don't need current supply anymore. And then probably just say else, right? Oh, no, we have to also make sure we're not under attack. So else if I can just say right, because if we're no longer this, so if this becomes true, that means our army and we're not under attack. And not under attack, go and attack. Yeah, that makes sense. So assuming our army strength is less than the enemy's, not less than the enemy strength, and we're not under attack, we should attack the enemy. Got it. Now, why is this not working? Oh, we can also get rid of the, where is that supply? Yeah, this is no longer necessary. And we go to the other supply. We no longer need this. All right. Now, just kind of explain what's going on here with this. Code, look at the changes you made. There are issues with both the areas function. Let me... Oh, I see. Okay, so what did you fix? Let's see. Total strength equals 0. Enemy units is about enemy units. That actually is shit. So total strength equals 0. Main powers, that's right. So you pass that in, and it's like, okay. That's right. That's right. See, what was this change? Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Right, okay. That makes sense. Well, actually, I'm not... Yeah, I think this is what you want to do. You want to go bot meteor, get all enemy. And actually, that means we don't need the import here. We actually don't need this import because we're actually getting it from the bot. Can I turn this off? I'm hesitant to do that because reasons. Okay. Shouldn't it be able to call these? Did I not define these properly? Yeah, define them. This is running away with me. Okay, well, I think it's time for us to run the clock on this. Okay. Oh, I see. All right, let's test it, I guess. Like, perhaps what we should do actually should only probably check to attack once, I guess maybe after our army's done. We should be like, okay, if our army's finished, if, yeah, maybe we should just be like, okay, first of all, our armies are done, and then we should be thinking about attacking. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll say, okay, is the build orders finished? Or yeah, if our build order is finished, then you should consider attacking. Or if they're, you know, if they're like, whatever the word is, like if like they've been interrupted. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so if this works, well, if this works, we'll put a gate that essentially says, look, if there is what's this goes here is if army is already attacking the side but based on threat. Did I do this right? Hold on. Oh yeah, so if like oh, what's happening here? Did my what's going on here, boys? What are you doing? Did you just like commence attack on your own? What's going on? That's gonna require some investigation at some point. Oh yeah, here they are. So I do need to put some sort of gate. Yeah, I need to make sure. Okay, so it works to a degree. So it works to a degree. We still essentially do want to have that our build orders are done. I mean, or do we? So I mean, do you really need a build order if you're already going to win? I'm a little sus at how it came to the conclusion to do this attack, but admittedly, like, it looks good. Makes it pretty aggressive. I might want to like investigate. Like it's doing a little. It's getting a little. Look at this. This is a little janky here, but what is this regrouping of army? Spawn controller. Something went wrong. What's this? Spawn controller. Army composition should be equal to 1, not 99. Where is this? This must be in the macro. Something is wrong. This is in the macro. Something is wrong in the macro. Okay. So something's off by 1 point. 0.2, that's 3. That's 6, 5. 6, 5. 7, 5. 8, no. Oh, I see. There. Solved. Okay. So I mean, I need to, what's this regroup? We'll need to put a to check regrouping to aggressive question mark, and then let's go back to the, I think we're pretty safe to, okay, let's call this a day. I am pretty good at I'm pretty, like, you know, happy with where we're at right now. I would like to, let's start close up shop. What was here? Is this removed supply? supply threshold instead, using army strength. What is that? That's not a thing. I don't know where that came from. Army strength, blah, 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 blah. That's good. So that thing needs a lot more testing, but so what we'll do now temporarily, because I'm gonna want to test a little bit further. And we still want that. I don't have a good like indicator to tell it to not do this just yet. So we'll say something like, so we actually did this to do measure the army value versus the supply. We did that. Okay. And then we're like, okay, else, main army, main strength, If main army we should actually say if the game time, well, so something like say like if game dot time, there's probably another way to look at this too. If the army is this supposed to be if the army is already attacking the side based on threat level? Is this supposed to be not commence attack? Am I missing something from this? Something feels missing. What did I have before we did this? What did we change before at the bottom? Ah, we forgot the commence attack. We forgot to say commence attack equals true. So we're like, or is this actually if we're already attacking somebody? Oh, this is to send us back home. Okay, so we could probably go back to this. We're probably going to want to turn on the commence attack flag. Because so if commence attack, so if we have commence attack, enemy threat levels under thing, go and attack. Else, So yeah, you're gonna want to turn on commence attack. So it's like bot commence attack equals true. There, you turn on commence attack. So it's like, okay, under attack, then it turns true. And so if it's there, and it kind of does like this little gate. This logic needs to be reevaluated. Just to do review the logic of this function. This function needs to have the logic reviewed. And then so we turn on commence attack equals true. So if commence attack, if no commence attack, it goes else. So it goes no commence attack. So if we're not commence attack, it checks what's the strength of the thing. We should check. We should actually only do this if it's past, let's say, if self bot dot time greater than, let's say, 3-minute mark. The 3-minute mark. And then we want to push. Okay. So if it's after the 3-minute mark, and we'll say something like to do, replace, we'll say something like to do, replace with a better indicator. Perhaps after build order is complete. Completed. After build runner is complete. After build runner is complete. Let's go build runner. I'm gonna go build complete. Something like this, something like self.build, something like that. Okay, good enough. That we should do a quick test to make sure everything works. You know, that we didn't just break it. While it runs, let's so remove thing and then added that. So threshold, what did we do in macro? What's different in macro? Oh, that's it's a different thing. So we'll do that. And then in macro added standard army after cheese. And then what did we do as well? We fixed depowering of buildings. What else did we do? Okay, I feel that's a good summary. Okay, and that's macro. And then we'll upload those changes. Okay, well, that was a fantastic session. I think we got a lot done. I think we'll just watch to make sure it doesn't crash. And then this bot's ready to go onto the ladder. Well, I actually have to clean up some of my, I have to turn off my debugs. So turn off the debugs and go on the ladder tomorrow. Turn off debugs. I mean, maybe we don't have to turn off debugs. Do we? I do want to turn off the regrouping debug. I think that floods me with so much nonsense, but whatever. Maybe it's okay. Maybe we can just put this up on the ladder now. Let's do it. Let's put it up on the ladder and see what happens. I'm ready for it. I will see if we already have it in AI Arena, if we already have ourselves registered or not. Let's see what bots I have. So this bot is no longer called a Dragon Bot. His name is Pigbot. Do I have to? Well, I think he's ready to go. Oh, I should actually be paying attention to what he's doing over here. Just turn off all these debugs. Wait, where'd he go? My dude! Wait, one disruptor? Well, I didn't quite. I didn't actually get to see if he. Let's try again. I did not get to see if the disruptor fired. I don't need this stuff up. I can close the other stuff down. Turn off his debug. I guess I still need the. If I upload to AI Arena though. So I'm going to want to turn off the debug before I do that. It must be kind of good to know when he decided to go and attack. Should keep an eye on that. Maybe 3 minutes is too early. 7 minutes? Let's see what he decides. Oh yeah, look at that. My guy's already like, that's like a strong decision there. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually gonna wait. I'm gonna actually not get you to go attack right away. I thought 3 minutes is what we want, but 3 minutes is not what we want. What we want is actually, so we actually won't do that. We'll go if dot. We'll use this right away. I think it's actually build order completed. Build order dot completed. So that should actually control it a bit better. The whole thing needs to be reviewed. So there might be other times you're going to want to check actually if your strength is thing. Maybe not. Oh, you might not wait until your build order is completed before you do that. I think build order is a natural space to check. You're like, okay, well, if my build order is completed, then I'm probably ready to finish. But and then I can control that by making the build order shorter. So right now this build order is pretty long, I think. It probably actually doesn't have to be as long as it is, but it's like, what is this? Oh, I wait till warp prisms and then I kind of, okay. And I'm gonna have to check if my, like, the army strength is actually how the army strength works. But let's see what happens after when get my disruptor out. Okay, great. Disruptor. So now, yeah, it's waiting for the build order. It's gonna do its thing. It's like, oh, okay, well. Create 5 roaches. Why aren't we firing? What happened? Did I? Oh, the tactical grid has to be set to true. Weird. Okay. So that actually has to be on. Okay, so the tactical grid was actually off. So that's why it wasn't firing. The tactical grid was off. You have to keep the tactical grid on. Good thing I did that test. That would have made stuff a little not ideal. Okay. Did it initialize the tactical grid last time, I'm guessing? It did not. I'm gonna guess. Oh, it says it did. It says successfully access the tactical grid. Right, well, let's just see what happens. Okay, assuming our little boy here does not die, we should be good. Hey, I'm like, where are you going? Okay. Hopefully this time it'll make disruptors too. did not see disruptors last time. When did the builds suggest to make disruptors? Immortal. Maybe it should always make disruptors. I think I currently have it. It's only a PVZ. It makes disruptors, but it probably should always make disruptors. But that is not a today thing, and that is not what we will do right now because I am hungry. So yeah, it looks like it's like, what's my standard one does not have disruptors. Is that what I'm looking at? No disruptors. Huh. Interesting. I will have to check the build and see what happens. The build, if it was supposed to, I think only this PVZ build has disruptors. Is that what I'm? Oh, so it builds high Templars, and it's like, okay, da da da. Oh, it's already gone. Okay, so this works. It's working. It's doing its thing. I'm gonna have to create a disruptor manually to create one disruptor. Why are you not firing? Did it fire? I did not notice. It looked like it fired. Let's see if it'll fire again. I guess the disruptor is not wasting its bullets. Oh, it fired! And it's... Was it on like a... What was those called again? Oh my god. Is it, not changelings. What are those? You're attempting to set weights that are below 1. Broodlings? Yeah, broodlings? What are they called again? Okay. So it works, but something to take note is that the disruptor, for whatever reason, will choose targets that are like stupid targets. And when I say stupid targets, I mean like, I don't know what you want to call them. Like, where's our ignored units? Creep tumors, mules, probes, drone, overseers, changelings. What are those units called? That, what are the StarCraft 2 units that pop out of Zerg buildings when they die? Are they broodlings? No. Are they broodlings? Do I even have broodlings on here? Unit type ID. Broodling. Well, actually, you probably should not ignore broodlings, now that I think about it. Should you? Should you ignore broodlings? Let's have the hatch. I think they're called broodlings. I cannot remember for the life of me. Complexity did not know. What is the name of this? This name of the units that pop out of a hatchery when destroyed in SC2. It is broodlings. It is broodlings. Okay. It is broodlings. Should you ignore broodlings? Question mark. Yeah, I probably should ignore broodlings. I'm gonna say we should ignore broodling. I think broodlings are units that should not be included because they are temporary and they will waste stuff. So let's include broodlings. Where else do we have this ignore property? Where else do I have ignore property? Is it in bot as well? So we can actually turn off the chat debug. And then we can actually upload this to AI Arena. I am confident enough to say we're going to upload it to AI Arena. Whether or not in bot, do we have anything, another one to, no. Is there somewhere else in my code that has a common unit ignore types other than combat.py? Okay, that's good enough. Oh, I just realized I've been like consuming some of my. Okay, this is good. Let's upload. We're good, boys. Okay, turned on. Upload to AI Arena. Done. Commit, and then added broodlings to ignore types. Done. Boom yakasha. Okay, we're good. Okay. Oh, where's my transition? Anyways, all right, everyone, that was a good session for the week. Hopefully you had and learned something and you got your own bot ready. If you want, there's a template, exclamation mark template, hopefully. Check it out. It'll at least be in the description. Get your own bot, get started, work with me. We can make this happen. If you want to actually just work on your bot and you actually want to get it done faster, you know, join. And you want to not only get faster but make smarter bots, join the membership. We're doing an application and just help. We can come with me each week. We can work on it. I also make challenges and obviously pro bots plus tracks to help you get your bot up and running. Exclamation mark join. You can be a part of that. And this is a freebie. I do every other week. I do a newsletter. !sub or go to versusai.net. You'll find it right away there. Join the newsletter. I do, and I look up basically things that I learn. Plus, I summarize some of the papers out there, white papers, and some of the stuff that's happening in AI, SC2 AI development. Makes it a lot easier for you, so you don't have to do any searching. All right there at your fingertips. Subscribe at versusai.net, or you can go versusai.net and it'll be right there. Either of those things. You have been a fantastic audience. By next week, we should have some results for how it did on the ladder, and we can continue. I think I don't want to be, maybe I don't want to be presumptuous and say that we won't have that to work on. The next thing that we're going to be working on, if this is done and we don't have to revisit it, is working on building placements and making the best, and I mean the best, wall off that you can have with a bot. So that will be the next part and phase, is building the perfect wall off. But I feel that this has been completed, and we got disruptors working. You guys have been fantastic. I will see you next week. Goodbye.